A self is not something static, tied up in a pretty parcel and handed to the child, finished and complete. Life, with its rules, its obligations, and its freedoms, is like a sonnet. We can't take any credit for our talents. I am still every age that I have been. I will have nothing to do with a God who cares only occasionally. We are all strangers in a strange land, longing for home. We do not need the sheltering wings when things go smoothly. Our truest response to the irrationality of the world is to paint or sing or write. Suddenly there is a strange, sweet familiarity that vanishes almost as soon as it comes. Stories make us more alive, more human, more courageous, more loving. Love of music, of sunsets and sea, a liking for the same kind of people. People are more than just the way they look. We have to be braver than we think we can be. Nothing is hopeless, we must hope for everything. We do not know what things look like. Maybe I don't like being different. But I don't want to be like everybody else either. The heart has its reasons, whereof reason knows nothing. You're much too straightforward to be able to pretend to be what you aren't. Have you ever tried to get to your feet with a sprained dignity? It was the same way with silence. This was more than silence. Oh child, your language is so utterly simple and limited that it has the effect of extreme complication. We are closest to God in the darkness. We look at the stars and think of the marvelous strangeness of the universe. In a very real sense, not one of us is qualified. If we are qualified, we tend to think that we have done the job ourselves. If we are forced to accept our evident lack of qualification, then there's no danger that we will confuse God's work with our own. What do I mean by creators? Not only artists, whose acts of creation are the obvious ones of working with paint of clay or words. Creativity is not limited to the arts, or having some kind of important career. We don't want to close a book with a sense that life is totally unfair. The minute we begin to think we know all the answers, we forget the questions. I believe that each work of art, whether it is a work of great genius or something very small, comes to the artist and says, "Here I am. Enflesh me." All artists must listen, but not all. Hear great symphonies, see wide canvases, conceive complex, character-filled novels. Picasso says that an artist paints not to ask a question, but because he has found something, and he wants to share. After the death of a well-known artist, there comes a period of an eclipse of his work. If the artist reflects only his own culture, then his works will die with that culture. It is chastening to realize that those who have no physical flaw, who move through life in step with their peers, who are bright and beautiful, seldom become artists. She had not lost her child's creative acceptance of the realities moving on, the other side of the everyday world.